guys, this is a video review for my 2011 Fuji Altamira 3. It's got quite a few upgrades on it, so I just wanted to go through the upgrades that I put on it and give you a little lowdown of the bike, because even if you're looking at one of these now, the geometry of the frame and everything hasn't really changed over the last couple of years, and it's still basically as is circa 2011. Like I say, not a lot of this bike remains in terms of componentry and stuff. I've upgraded most of it apart from the frame set. Start with the frame. It's like I say, it's a Fuji Altamira. It's the 3.0 version, as you can see. Comes in a nice naked carbon blue and white colour scheme. The other colours were, the two were grey and black, and the one was a funny brown colour. So in terms of looks, this one was definitely the best choice. It has the C4 grade of carbon fibre, and I don't know whether you can see, it's an unidirectional carbon fibre, so it doesn't have the weave as such. It has just a wavy gravy mesh of carbon fibre. Now I don't really know how that affects things like stiffness and comfort and stuff like that, or whether it's just purely cosmetic, or whether it's the monocoque construction. However, yes, so it's a C4 grade of carbon, which is Fuji's lowest grade of carbon. They, at the time, I think they had a C6, and now they do a C7 grade of carbon, so it's going to be slightly heavier. But to be honest with you, when you're messing around with carbon fibre grades, I mean, if you're going for top grades carbon fibres, you're spending thousands and thousands of pounds more for, you know, to shave a few hundred grams off the frame. Most important thing about the frame is going to be the geometry, not the weight. And I have to say, I quite like the geometry of this frame. It's sort of an endurance geometry, because it's got quite a high head tube. However, the way I've upgraded the bike, as you can see, is in for very aero and sort of a racing componentry. So it does work both ways. It's quick, but it's also quite comfortable over long distances. This used to be Fuji's endurance frame geometry, but since then they've released the Grand Fonda, which is specific for sportive geometries, and they've got the SST Super Stiff, which is specific for racing and sprinting geometry. So this Altamira is now sort of the middle ground between the two, and fits the bill quite well. Like I say, it's got quite a tall head tube, but it's got it's got a massively oversized down tube and an oversized bottom bracket to keep it stiff when sprinting. Another feature of the frame is you've got these super skinny seat stays, and you've got quite large chain stays as well. So yeah, like I say, the frame's quite good. That's why I've stuck with it and stuck all the expensive componentry on it. And I don't think it's out of place having expensive componentry on this frame. It certainly holds its own. Now, like I say, literally the only things that remain from this bike are the oval brake calipers, the 105 crank arms, and that's and the oval seat. Everything else has been, bar and frame, has been upgraded. So let's go through the upgrades, what I've got. Right, first thing we changed out were the tyres. It's a good idea whenever you're buying a bike, especially an off the peg bike as it were. Manufacturers, apart from the German ones maybe, tend to skimp on the tyre sets. They have they don't have great tyres that come with the bike, and it can make such a difference having a decent tyre set on there. These were equipped with a Kenda, I think it's a Kenda or maybe a Hutchinson tyre set that were really quite poor when I initially got the bike. I initially swapped them out for Bontrager R3s, which lasted about 2,000 miles and weren't bad wheels. I've then subsequently, this is the second set of Ultremo ZX HDs that I've had on there, and although I managed to muck up the first set quite spectacularly, I really like the way they roll and they're grippy as hell. So yes, first upgrade, as always, was a tyre set. We then went and it had a aluminium seat post. We then upgraded that to an SLK carbon fibre, partly because I like the look of it, because the undirectional carbon fibre matched the frame. Also, it was the seat post was offset by 20 mils, and this isn't. As you can see, I've dropped the head tube, the stem as well, to give it a more racing, more aggressive stance. I upgraded SLK stem as well because the stem was oversized. It was 140 mil, which is ridiculous. Also, the handlebars were oversized as well. They were 46 centimetre handlebars, so I was massively stretched out there on the headset. I upgraded the handlebars to a K-Force FSA Ergo handlebars. Quite expensive, and I know not everyone likes carbon fibre handlebars, but they are very comfortable in the hoods, comfortable in the drops, and then you've got this nice ergo grip for sustained climbs and stuff. They're comfortable. I like them. The only criticism I have, it means that because the bar tape can only really go up this high, we've got a bit of a mess of cables and stuff coming down. That's another downside to the frame set, is that there's no internal cable routing. As you can see, the cables run outside the tubes, which, especially in this front end here, means that the Jaguar and stuff can get a bit messy. But hey ho. Maybe our next frame. Well, I'm sure my next frame I'll get internal cable routing, because it seems to be a bit more standard now over the last year or so. Right, okay, next upgrade, wheel set. The wheel set was stock oval wheels, I think R300 wheels, which were a bit ropey at best. A lot of broken spokes, a lot of buckled wheels, we've gone for the carbon, and we've gone for carbon wheels. We've got the Cosmic Carbone SLR, I think, wheel set, 800 quid wheels, and they're fantastic, bulletproof, bomb-proof. They roll well, the hubs are good. I really have absolutely no complaints. They look the biz as well. I know that's not important for some people, but I'm quite vain, as you can see from my silly bling bike. Right, so yeah, everyone knows about Mavic Cosmics by now. They're a very good wheel set, and for the money, probably one of the best you can get. Right, drivetrain. It came standard. It came with a 105 group set. This bike, really good group set. Can't complain about it at all. Super reliable. I got on with it very well. But as the components start to wear out, I've upgraded it a bit. So we've got Ultegra rear mech and front mech there, and obviously, as you can see, we've got rotor Q rings as well. The aero ones. Like I said, I've gone for sort of an aggressive racing spec with this bike, so I've gone for the aero Q rings. I've kept the 105 crank arm for the moment, partly because I can't afford to upgrade it. I wanted to stick with the SLK finishing kit, but an SLK crank arm, they want about 400 quid for a carbon one, so which is astronomical. So maybe one day, or get the Rotor 3D forged one to go with the Q rings. We've got a nice top spec KMC gold chain there as well. Like I say, to continue the theme, the bling theme going through the bike. And yeah, like I say, you know, Ultegra, best pound for pound group set there is. You know, no doubt about it. You know, you can spend an extra £1,000 and get the Di2, which is very impressive, but ultimately the performance is going to be the same because it is essentially the same group set. Or you can spend an extra thousand, you know, over £1,000 and get a Dura Race group set, which is going to, you know, shave a couple of 100 grams off, but you know the performance is not going to be that much better. So I'd say pound for pound, Ultegra is the best group set money can buy. The only thing I haven't changed is I've still got the 105 shifters up front, which, as usual, are a little battle damaged. You know, I've come off this bike a couple of times, and you know, as anyone will know, testify, your hoods never stay pristine after a year or so. What with leaning the bike up against walls, and you know, you drop it every now and again, and yeah, these hoods get scratched up. But like I say, 105 Ultegra mix, cracking group set. The brakes I'm looking to upgrade. They're, you know, again, off the shelf bike. Wasn't a full 105 group set. Save a bit of money. These oval brakes are okay. Well, they've served me okay for 2 years, but there's definitely better brake sets out there. So yeah, that's it. Oh, one other thing. Talk about the pedals. I've got Time iClick 2 carbon pedals. They are very good pedal set. I know they're not the norm, obviously. Most people go for the Look Heroes or the Shimano SPDs or whatever. I've gone Time iClicks. The pedals are brilliant. The clicking, the cleats, the action clicking in and clicking out is brilliant. However, the only criticism of these pedals is the cleats. They wear so fast, it's ridiculous. So I mean, the actual pedal, I'd score 10 out of 10. The cleats would get a score of about 2 out of 10 because they, like I say, and the 20 quid a pop, you're going to be replacing them once every 3 months probably with decent use. But like I say, it's a sacrifice I find worth making because the actual action of the pedals and the power you can put through them and stuff is so good. So there you have it. That's my 2011 Fuji Altamira 3. Like I say, heavily upgraded, but it's a fantastic bike. And if you were looking at Fujis, particularly the Altamiras, the 2013 models, like I say, they haven't changed much from this. It climbs well, and with a few adjustments, it sprints really well as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment below. Thanks again.